Hello, YouTube. It's me, John Avenger, once again, and I'm back on again. I just did a DVD and Blu-ray update that was massive. I hope you guys enjoyed that because now we're back to Floppy Woppy month, and we're back to reviewing more movies that bombed critically or financially. And this one did both. It's a 2016 American dystopian romantic thriller by the director of Red, Robert Schwenke, and this was a disaster, guys. As much as I like the first two films, this one I could not defend. It's shit. It's the Divergent series, Allegiant. Yeah, look at that poster. Look how riveting that poster is. Yeah. Oh, she's wearing white. You mean like the hobo in episode 9? Wow. That is no comparison there, is it? Well, I promise I'm not going to just mention that for the whole review. But this was a disappointment. It's not the worst sequel I've ever seen, but compared to how much build-up the first two movies had, and then they lead up to this third movie that's so uneventful and bullshit that it canceled the last movie. This is supposed to be a first part in a Allegiant 1, Part 1, and renamed Allegiant in September 2015. The proposed sequel was entitled Ascendant, and Ascendant was never made because this movie bombed. This movie cost $110 million for the budget and 142 million for the costs, and it made 179 worldwide, not domestically, worldwide. That's a massive bomb. See, the film was a box office bomb. It became the lowest grossing Divergent film following budget cuts. Of course, the film doesn't look as good as the first two films. A theatrical release for Ascendant was dropped in favor of reconfiguring the project as a TV film for stars that would be followed up by spin-off series, but both projects were later canceled. Of course, this is just Diet Hunger Games. That's why this franchise ended on a whimper. And it's sad because I like the first two movies. They're not great. They're decent. Because I like Shailene Woodley and the premise and the visuals, and I like some of the supporting cast. Now, what is the plot of this one, Allegiant? Well, if you've seen the first two movies, this is the first two movies, but just way worse and more boring. And it just has laughable moments. There's a scene that Shailene Woodley's character Trish gets into a bubble, and I swear, this is her face. I was laughing my ass off. I'm like, you put comedy in a movie this serious? Yeah, I'm sorry. Your seriousness from the first two movies is not here. It's a freaking comedy. After Evelyn forbids everyone from leaving Chicago, you mean like President Coyne did at the end of Mockingjay Part 1 when she says, oh, we're going to bring Pan Am back to greatness and et cetera, et cetera. She announces that the erudite members involved in the previous coup attempt are to be put on trial and executed if found guilty. Tristan Four, the boring-ass James Franco British guy, rescue Caleb from execution and try to escape over the wall with Tori, Peter, and Christina. And another thing, you killed off Maggie Q. Why did you bring her back if you were just going to kill her off? You're freaking X-Men The Last Stand this shit. I liked her in the first two films. She didn't have much to do, but I always loved Maggie Q on screen. You killed her off. Why would you do that? You stupid freaking movie. Who wrote this movie, by the way? It wasn't Robert Schwenke. It was three people. Three people wrote the screenplay, and they fucked it up. Noah Oppenheim, Adam Cooper, and Bill Collage. What did this guy do? He wrote the screenplays for Maze Runner, another movie that I didn't care about. I didn't see that one. What else has he done? I got to look this up. Because, I really don't know why this movie was even made. I mean, it was made because the second one did okay, but the third one just, it was awful. Like, I don't know what they were thinking. And Rotten Tomatoes did not hold back. It gave it 11%. This is the synopsis, the consensus. Even the audiences weren't having it. It got a 41%. That's lower than the last failure. Allegiant improves on previous entries. Not really, guys. I'm sorry. I disagree with that. On a few superficial levels, yeah, the film looks better, and Shailene Woodley has hair again. She doesn't have that lesbo haircut from the second one. But they aren't enough to counteract a sense of grooming boredom with the franchise has gone on too long. Yeah, and the movie's long and boring, guys. This isn't like a 90-minute movie. This movie is 2 hours, and it felt it. I felt every freaking bit of this. Of the running time. It's boring. If people say the first half of Endgame is boring, read a comic book. There's a lot of talking in it before they get to the action scenes. Just to say that to all these haters out there that want to say that Endgame is boring. Endgame had a point. They were setting up the drama so you can enjoy the comedy and the action at the end. That's what it was trying to do. This guy also wrote Jackie with Natalie Portman. He wrote and the first Maze Runner. Yeah, he's a hit or miss writer. The other guy, let's see, Adam Cooper. What else did he write? He wrote take this, Tevya. Look what this dumbass wrote. He wrote Exodus: Gods and Kings, a shitty biblical movie that was made with whitewashing. Transporter Refueled, the worst of the franchise after Jason Statham left, and the Assassin's Creed movie. Hooray! You wrote 4 shitty movies. See, this is why I'm tired of writers that don't know how to write. I know there was another one that wrote the film too. Hold on. Yeah, this guy wrote 4 shitty movies. This and those 3 films I mentioned earlier. Veronica Roth, no, that she's the writer of the book, so I'm not counting that. I'm counting the get out of here, stupid. I hate these ads. Ads are the worst, man. Um, but yeah, Triss doesn't grow as a character. She's wearing white because just like with The Last Jedi, they have to make your lead in the third movie wear white, even though in the originals they wore black. But well, I digress. Bill Collage also wrote the screenplay. Let's see what this guy did. He also wrote Assassin's Creed and Exodus and freaking Transporter Refueled. Tower Heist I liked, but that was years ago, guys. That was when Eddie Murphy was still struggling. These are not good writers, guys. The dialogue in this movie is painful. Also, I so don't buy the romance between Tristan and Four. It's very forced. No pun intended. And just Theo James is a very boring actor. If you've seen Underworld Blood Wars, he did nothing for me there either. Let's take a look at the dialogue. I'm going to read the dialogue. Here's a quote. These are just a couple of lines. I don't want to be here reading for 30 minutes. Hands to yourself or I throw you out. Everyone is worth saving. Well, that's probably a line from the book. You want change with no sacrifice. You want peace with no struggle. The world doesn't work like that. Yeah, no shit. Said to Triss, help me. You saved the city. Help me save the world. David, I don't even know who that is. I think that's Ansel Elgort, maybe. Uh, 4, we need to leave right now with a exclamation point. Again, guy, you can't act. Stop doing American accents if you don't have it. Okay? I have one. My friends have it. You don't. End of story. Okay, Tris, to those of you beyond the wall, hear me loud and clear because I know you're listening. Chicago is not your experiment. It is our home and it will always will be. I've heard this in several other movies, guys. If you had to save one person and your choice was between a healthy child and a sick old man, who would you choose? I wouldn't choose. Good. Now they're both dead. What kind of downbeat bullshit dialogue is that? Does that make you feel exhilarated? Oh, they're both dead. This isn't a black comedy, guys. This is just horribly written dialogue. Shailene Woodley is trying, but she just can't save the script. Yeah, it's 2 hours long. It feels long. And there's a reason why the visuals don't save it. It's so boring. This movie was like Rogue One, but with more color, and yet it's still boring as fuck. And Robert Swinkie, there's no excuse. You did Red. Red is an awesome Bruce Willis movie with Morgan Freeman and Richard Dreyfuss and Mary Louise Parker and John Malkovich and freaking and of course I said Bruce Willis already. Yeah, that has a great old school cast. I even like the sequel. This is just dull. And yeah, the villain is Jeff Daniels. He's not over the top or anything. He's just very bland and boring, and he's a waste of a good actor. And yeah, and also there's another thing that bothered me in the movie besides the shitty dialogue and how boring it was. Yeah, the movie made 66 million in the U.S. That's horrible. That's basically what Dark Phoenix did this year. Zing! Yeah, that's all these assholes that like Dark Phoenix. Yeah, I'm sorry. That movie is shit. It was shit. That's why nobody went to see it. But yeah, the film didn't stand a chance. It came out in March, the same month as Zootopia, and people actually flocked to go see that because it's good. It's well written. Response by Shailene Woodley. Among the negative reviews from the critics and fans alike, lead star expressed disappointment with the quality. Yeah, because again, it was shitty. They gave her nothing to do. She doesn't have a badass moment in this, like in the first two. She's not training. She's not doing anything special. She's doing everything that Katniss Everdeen did in the Hunger Games, just done on a diet level. I don't want any more diet lead actresses or lead characters. I liked Triss in the first two films. In the third one, if you're not going to build her up to be a badass, then all the buildup was for nothing in the first two movies. In a 2016 interview with Net a Porter edited, Woodley said she almost quit acting following the decline of the franchise. Don't quit acting, Shane Lee. You are beautiful. You're going to have a longer career than the hobo. You know why? Because you have appeal. You have a beautiful face. You got a nice big nose. You have a way above average body. You have a good dramatic flair. Every time this girl cries, you can feel it. With the hobo, this is her crying. Yeah, that's not for me, guys. I want to feel something. I don't want to see wooden acting. I've seen enough of that already. Yeah, she said the last one was a bit of a hard experience for everyone. Yeah, a lot of the actors don't want to be here. Like freaking Theo James looks like he wants to slit his wrist. Ansel Elgort, he's the best part of the movie because he's actually doing things in this movie. He's not just the brother in the background. And I'm sorry, Miles Teller is like he switches back and forth. He's like bipolar. First, he's with Triss, then he betrays her, then he's with her, then he betrays her. It's like a freaking seesaw of bullshit. And this was really what made me think I need to have some human experiences outside of this industry and fall in love with acting again. And Big Little Liars did that for me. Thanks for that, Big Little Lies. I think it was like a Showtime show or something like that. It was a drama on, let's see, on HBO. Yeah, thank you, HBO, for that. You may suck with Game of Thrones, but at least you gave Shailene Woodley a new lease on life. It was either that or Netflix. And this got a Golden Raspberry Award for both Shailene, who doesn't deserve it because she wasn't bad in the movie. It's the writing that was bad, and Naomi Watts, another actress that doesn't have an American accent, that doesn't in like half of it. I'm not a fool. I can hear everything, and I see everything, and I have the internet. I can check if you're one of me or not. Yeah, and it's just awful. Like I don't know what they were thinking. Yeah, thank you for that honest thought. See, unlike Brie Larson, who kicked ass in that movie and made a lot of money for Marvel, and people still shit on her, I will defend her because she never gave a bad performance like this. She's never done a movie where I cringed watching her. Not even Don John, which I thought was decent, but the problem is it's over sexualized and making it R just didn't cut it for me. And Brie was underusing that. Here, Shane Lee could have done a lot better. And and I blame the writing and the bad writing and the directing. And I can't blame the books either because I didn't read the books, but they're probably better written than this. Yeah, who else is in the movie? Octavia Spencer is there. Zoe Kravitz, I think she dies too, which is a waste of her. Maggie Q, I already said she dies. Ray Stevenson, I don't give a shit about him. And Bill Skarsgård, is that the guy? The new Pennywise. You're not scary, dude. You probably do a good performance, but you're not scary. I don't fear clowns. I embrace them. I'm not scared of them. But anyway, yeah, that's Divergent, Allegiant, the worst of the three. If you didn't like the first two, this is not going to do you any favors. If you like the first two, avoid this one. It's not worth your time. To me, the movies ended with freaking. To me, in my mind, it ended with Insurgent. Naomi Watts kills off Kate Winslet. Movie's over. You can move on now. This just felt like a forced sequel we did not need, like the Underworld sequels after the prequel. Or The Force Awakens. Yeah, I went there, guys. Don't act like you're surprised. Or the sequel to Independence Day, or sequels to Speed and freaking other movies, like half of the horror movies that have four sequels. This did not need to be made. Do it better or don't do it at all. Even on Netflix, this would have sucked. But that's enough for me rambling on the Legion. It sucks. It could kiss my ass. It's a terrible third movie to two otherwise decent films. And yeah, can you imagine if Infinity War, you build up all this thing with Thanos, and Thanos does one thing in the movie and then disappears? How disappointed would you have been about that? Or if you brought back Black Widow and she does nothing, or you brought back Scarlet Witch and she does nothing, or the Women of Wakanda, or freaking any female character, insert here. Wouldn't you be disappointed? No, because Marvel gets writers that actually know what they're freaking doing. Summit, who did Divergent? I think it was who did the first one? Hold on. I want to see the company that did this. This is ridiculous. Studio. It's based on a book, cinematography. Summit, yeah. You did Twilight. Stop with these shitty YA novels as feature films. They don't work anymore. I stopped caring after the last Hunger Games, guys. The same year Insurgent came out. That's when I stopped caring because I'm a young adult. I am. I'm just a little older. I want to see something better. You can't make chicken salad out of chicken shit. That's what a good man said here on YouTube, cinematic excrement. You can't do that. It's still going to be chicken shit. But anyway, guys, that's enough rambling. This movie sucks. It deserved to bomb. This is definitely a movie that deserved to be in the flop bucket. Even the poster just sounds so uneventful. And Theo James is a boring lead guy, and Shailene Woodley could have done better. He doesn't get a Razzie, but she does. It was undeserved. I think Kristen Stewart is way worse in everything she's in. But anyway, it sucks. If you missed it, good. You're not missing much. And it's a bad movie. As a movie on its own, it's not good. As an adaptation, it also sucks if you've read the books. It's so uneventful, so boring. The actions mean nothing. Them flying in that little helicopter thing, that should have been cool. But it's sad when Sucker Punch did that better, and I hated that movie. Yeah. But anyway, that's enough. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Avoid Allegiant. It's bad. This is the X-Men The Last Stand or Dark Phoenix of the freaking Divergent series. I could have redone this movie with a $5 million budget outside my house, and it would have been better than this. But anyway, it sucked and it deserved to flop. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next review.